Hi, I'm Dan Wilks, Utility Relay Company. You know, our AC Pro 2 trip unit is a really amazing little device. It's got a lot of features, provides a lot of benefits, but two of the really neatest items I think it does for you is it can interact with a computer using our InfoPro software, and it has sluggish breaker detection. Now, you can find out more about the InfoPro software on a separate video that I did. But I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about sluggish breaker detection. You know, we think that if your automobile can tell you that you have a problem with your engine or something else using a check engine light, we think your breaker and your trip unit should be able to tell you something going wrong with your breaker as well. And we do that through our patented sluggish breaker detection. So let me tell you how that works. Every time the trip unit is called on to trip a breaker, it times the opening of that breaker. And if that timing exceeds a threshold, that's one of the programming steps in the AC Pro 2, then a sluggish breaker detection message comes up telling you that you've got a problem, it's either slow or stuck, and you need some service. So let me demonstrate how that sluggish detection works. We've got an AK breaker here that's retrofitted and equipped to show both sluggish and non-sluggish operation. So right now I've got it set up for non-sluggish. And I've got the safety trip activated. I'm going to push the two buttons to trip the breaker. And the breaker's tripped. And you've got no message showing on the display. In fact, you can go to the display and look at the timing of that particular opening. And as you can see, it is less than the threshold that's programmed into this, which is 27 milliseconds. So let me reset this and demonstrate a sluggish breaker opening. So I'm going to reset the entire setup. Have to reclose the breaker. To set it up for sluggish breaker now. And we will, again, activate the safety trip device. Wait for this to do its communication with the device. And now push the two buttons and it will. And as you can see on the screen, it says sluggish breaker, just like it's shown on the banner here. And in this case, to review that information, I'm going to look at the information on the screen, and it shows that that trip took 29.4 milliseconds. Once again, in this case, longer than the 27 milliseconds built into this and programmed into this trip unit. So how does that work? How do we accomplish that? Well, the timing is done when the trip unit sends an impulse to the actuator to start the tripping operation, and it stops when an impulse comes back to the trip unit from a micro switch that's part of our retrofit kit. When that micro switch changes state, when it's hit by the breaker operation and changes state, sends a message back to the trip unit and stops that timing. So why is this important? Well, it's a safety issue. It's a safety issue for your equipment. It's a safety issue for your personnel. If a breaker is getting into a point where it's slow or sluggish, you can get into higher arc flash incidents. You can be exceeding your coordination numbers as far as your equipment is concerned, and you can really cause a risk to personnel and equipment. So we think it's important to know from a maintenance standpoint and from a service standpoint whether your breaker is getting into a slow or sluggish condition. So that's sluggish breaker. I think you'll find it really a neat feature to use and utilize in your facilities. Thank you for your time and your attendance in this video. And please check us out for other videos on other pieces of equipment, including our safety trip and our MP units. On social media, we have videos on our website, utilityrelay.com, and we have other technical info available on our website. So thank you. Thanks for joining us, and have a good day, and we appreciate your support of Utility Relay products.